Hey folks, this is the P90 from 2015 review. P90 is a remixed and remastered, improved version of Power90 from 2000, which is an online program from Beachbody. So what is that? It's a 90-day total body cross fitness circuit training program that you can buy on DVD or on Amazon or eBay, or you can stream it on Beachbody, or I guess it's called Body or Body now. But on the cover, you've got Mr. Tony Horton. He's the fitness instructor, and he's doing a move here called Heisman lunges, I think it's called. Yeah, so that's in this is a move that's in one of the programs. Now, this is what I did, round 48 for me. Second quarter of 2023. I started P90 on April 24th when I did Sweat A on a Monday. And I ended it on July 1st with Tony Horton's Greatest Hits. For me, this is the third time I've done P90, and I've largely done it the same way each time. I'll talk about that as I go through, but I don't do it the way the program's set up. Now, if you buy this like I did back in whenever I bought it, you get a calendar, and the calendars, it tells you how you can do it. There's a sweat option and there's a sculpt option, and they're essentially the same. You're just doing sweat A and sweat and sculpt B, and you're just rotating them every other day. But there's an odd number of days in the week. So if you do the sculpt option, you're doing sculpt more, and if you do the sweat option, you're doing sweat one more day a week. That's not how I do it. So when I do it, I focus on 4 of the discs, or 4 of the types, and I'll do a sweat once a week and a sculpt once a week, and I'll do Tony Horton's Greatest Hits once a week, and I'll do, for the most part, Saturday special, and I'll talk about all those. And then I sort of mix and match because there's no yoga option in P90, and I need that. I need a yoga option, and I need a stretch option. Okay. So that's the biggest difference with the way how I do it. So yeah, I did it April 25th through July 2nd. And you're probably doing the math going, well, that's not 90 days. Well, it's not. I didn't do the full 13 weeks. I did 10 weeks, and I'm still like trying to get back on track of quarterly programs because I did 22-minute hardcore last summer, so like this time last year, and that's a 9-week program, and then to compensate for doing 9 weeks instead of 13 weeks, I took weeks off, and then I did 5 straight months of P90X2, and I finished that. And then now to get back on the right track, I planned 10 weeks. I could have done the 13 weeks, but I just did 10 weeks. Okay, so that's where we're at now. In this 10-week, the way I planned it out, I did 2 weeks of A, which is weeks 1 and 2, and I did 4 weeks of B, which is weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then I did 2 weeks of C, which is weeks 8 and 9, and then at week 10 I did a recovery week. Now A, B, and C, you might wonder what that means. So let's talk about A. A is like, think of A as easy, and then B is middle, and then C is the hardest, and C is pretty hard. A is really easy. I mean, A is super easy. And B is just the right level of, I feel like working out today, but I'm not discouraged to work out because B is a good workout, but it's not going to kill me. But then C is getting it's not quite P90X, but you're getting there. It's not too far off. And there are some days where you think, oh, I don't want to do C, but I just do it anyway. Okay, so let's get into what the program is and then what it's like, and I'll talk about it through the sphere of what the workouts are and what are they like, and I'll go through all of them real quick. Okay, so sculpt, and they're sculpt A, B, C. So what is sculpt? It's a total body workout that's like you're doing a circuit and you're sort of mixing up between chest, back, arms, or biceps and triceps, and then legs. And the legs are usually some kind of lunging, jumping, or squat, or cross switch jump or hops or something like that. Okay. And so for sculpt, and by the way, this is how it looks. So when you get a disc, this is the A disc. A has sculpt, sweat, and absorber. Okay. So with sculpt A, you've got I think it's about 25 minutes. With B, it's about 35 minutes, and then with C, it's 45 minutes. And they're increasing in complexity and intensity each time. So in the shorter one, in A, you're working out for 25 minutes, but it's not too difficult. And in some cases, they're doing like half push-ups, or they're doing rows. What I like to do, I'll do the full push-ups, and I'll do pull-ups or chin-ups, or I'll do rows, but I'll really heavy it up with bands. So with Sculpt A, I like it because you're going through the circuit. You're working all the targets, but you're not blasting them. You're not crushing on pull-ups or push-ups or arms. You're kind of going through the circuit. And it's tough. And some of my favorite moves, let's see. Sculpt A, rocket rows, skier squats, touchdown presses. I mean, some of these are like just shoulder moves or curls or whatever. And looks like A is 30 minutes. Okay, Sculpt A. Sculpt B is 33 minutes. Sculpt C is 44 minutes. I mean, that's that's quite an investment in time, okay? And Sculpt C is hard. There's a couple of moves in Sculpt C I really didn't like doing. I'm looking for it. Warrior 2 half moons. Those are hard for me. Warrior 3 lunges are hard. And there's this one where you're in a lunge. Sweeping crescents. I mean, it's really difficult to hold that the whole time. Okay. So that's Sculpt A, B, and C. And then sweat. There's sweat A, B, and C. So what sweat is, in P90, sweat's basically an MMA workout, or it's like P90X3 MX Light, MMX Light. So you're doing you're doing a lot of punching, you're doing kicking, and you're doing combinations of that, and you're doing kneeing. And for instance, you might do like a punch knee, or a punch kick punch, or a punch elbow kick, or something like that. And I like it because it's not too difficult on the body. And you get into a really good flow, and you can work up a sweat. Now A is really easy. A is it's probably like 25 minutes. And it's really low intensity, and it just seems like he's going really slow. And then in B is just the right pace, and he's got a really good crew in B, and the moves are a little bit more complicated, and you're going at a good pace. And then C's pretty hard. It's not as hard as MMX, but it's pretty, you're going at a pretty good pace. Now between Sculpt A, B, and C, and Sweat A, B, and C, I did Sculpt A twice, I did Sculpt B 4 times, and I did Sculpt C 3 times. And I did same thing for Sweat. I did Sweat A 2 times, Sweat B 4 times, and Sweat C 3 times. And that's exactly the way I planned it. I wanted 2 weeks of A, 4 weeks of B, and 3 weeks of C. And for the most part, I was able to work that out. Most of the time I was doing it on Mondays and Tuesdays, but I made some exceptions here and there based on my availability or travel or things like that. Back to Sweat, what don't I like about it? There's a lot of, they're not burpees, but I would call them sprawls, where you're standing and then you're going down to plank pretty quickly, and then you're coming back up, and sometimes you're throwing a hook or hook or hook uppercut, or 2 punches or punch hook, and then you're going down and you're doing those sprawls. Those are fast. And I start to develop a issue with my right hip that that's gotten worse since last summer. So after a while, I started doing the Bosu ball to like sort of like a modified sprawl. Okay, so that's sweat. Now you've got these all come on different discs. So you got Sweat and Sculpt A and Ab Ripper A, and then Sweat and Sculpt B and Ab Ripper B, and then C, Sweat Sculpt Ski and Ab Ripper C. Okay. Now on Saturdays, there's the Saturday special. Where did I put that? Right here. All right. Now, what is Saturday special? It's like it's about 25 minutes, 27 minutes, and it's sort of like it's in between a sweat and a sculpt, where you're doing mainly a lot of like ab type moves and then some quicker lunging type or jumping type moves or core moves. Not always sprawls, but like mountain squats or not mountain squats, but mountain. I looked it up. I guess he calls them cross climbers, but you're basically in plank and you're doing like a kick or you're doing a side kick from plank, like a knee in. Okay, and that's Saturday special. What I like about Saturday special is it's fast, it's intense enough, and you feel like you're getting a good workout in just 27 minutes. And by the way, on a Saturday, you don't want to kill yourself anyway. I mean, this is actually a pretty good choice for a Saturday workout, no matter where you are or what you're doing. And that's why I like the Saturday special. Now, by the way, I did the Saturday special 4 times. No, I planned on doing it every Saturday for those 9 weeks. And I didn't. I started switching up things at the end. Some weeks I was traveling and I just skipped it. Some weeks I never got to it. But at the end I started to change things up. So I'll talk about what kind of changes I made at the end when I start to go through the other discs. Tony Horton's greatest hits. That one is right here. By the way, P90 comes with this disc that has speed option, speed sculpt, speed sweat, speed abs. I don't like those at all. I don't do them. They're like really fast. They're hyper paced, and I don't think it's a good workout, and I don't think it's good for your body. I guess if you were in a pinch and you had limited time, you could do those, but there are better options than those. On this disc, there is what's called Horton's Greatest Hits, and what this workout is this is I think it's about 35 minutes long, and you do 11 moves and then you repeat the 11 moves. And that's, by the way, that's really common in P90, where you do a circuit and then you repeat it, or you repeat it once or twice or 3 times. In Horton's Greatest Hits, you do 11 moves and then you repeat them. And it's a lot of it's a combination of lunges, a lot of jumping, and a lot of push-ups. And they're not just like get down and do 20 push-ups. You're doing like push-up punch, or you're doing push-up side arm rise or something like that. You're just doing a lot, very difficult. Or push-up and then walk 2 steps and then do another push-up and then walk back. They're very complicated, and it'll gas you, it'll wear you out quickly. It's an awesome workout. I like to do Tony Horton's Greatest Hits on Fridays. And I started missing a lot of Fridays, but I was like dedicated to, I'm going to do at least 9 Tony Horton's Greatest Hits, and I did it. I did the 9 right here. In fact, I was tracking them in the tracker, and I was tracking how many reps I did and how often I did it and when I did it. So that's one of my favorites, Tony Horton's Greatest Hits. Not just in this program, but it's one of my favorite workouts to do, period. What I don't like about it is there are some like moves where you're hopping on one foot, and those are hard for me. They hurt my ankles or they're just tough. But also it does really gas me out. It's a tough workout. Now I mentioned the ab rippers. Like ab ripper A is on this disc, and then you have ab ripper B and ab ripper C. Ab rippers are just ab core back focused, And for the most part, you're either lying on your back or you're on your butt, or you're in plank, and you're doing moves that are focused on your core, abs, or back. Sometimes your hip and your hip flexors, but for the most part, your abs and core and back. I like ab workouts a lot. I try to do them at least 3 times a week, usually twice. And I like to do them on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And I like to do them after a sculpt workout or an upper body workout or some kind of power workout. I don't like to do them after cardios. What I don't like about these are, I think ab ripper A is too easy. And I think ab ripper C is too difficult. I would rather do ab ripper X, even though that's probably the hardest one. There's something about ab ripper C that I'm not a fan of. In fact, I didn't do it at all in this. So I did 15 ab rippers. I did ab ripper A 4 times, and I did ab ripper B 4 times, and then I started substituting because I wanted something harder, but I wanted something that was more fit for me. My go-to option in that case is DDP Yoga has one called Red Hot Core. And Red Hot Core is a 15-minute ab workout. So that's longer than ab ripper A or B. But what you get is it's really core and back focused and ab focused. And I'm just a big fan of DDP Red Hot Core. So after a while, I just switched over to it and I started doing that. So 15 times, that's probably half as many as I wanted to over what's essentially 9 weeks of doing abs. I would probably like to do closer to 24, 27, but 15 is pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Other workouts I did, real quick. Let's see. There's a workout on, this is a 10-minute trainer disc. You see this right here? It's a bonus workout called Power90 Fat Burning System. Okay, I did that for 5 straight weeks. And for the most part, I was trying to do it on Wednesdays, but I had to move it around a little bit. But for 5 straight weeks, I did the fat burning system. It's a Power90, but it didn't come with the original Power90 program. They filmed it like around 2004, 2005 when Tony Horton and the Beachbody Coaches of the Year, or whatever they're called, they recorded this in Hawaii. And so it's like Tony and a bunch of coaches that were Coaches of the Year. And they're going through 5 circuits of what's essentially kicking, punching, or like MMA style. And then there's a lot of hopping around and jumping around and lunging around. Okay. And I like it. But it has you do 5 circuits and it's about 25 minutes or 30 minutes long. I stopped doing it. I stopped doing it because I was doing it on Wednesdays. I could really feel my lower back and hips tightening up. And I think it was that workout. And I think it's because where I had it in the program, doing it on Wednesdays after sculpt and sweat. So eventually I just stopped doing it. But I did it 5 straight weeks. And I would have done it longer, but the back tightness, the hip tightness, that was starting to really bother me, and so I took it out. What else did I do? Oh, alla Kino. Let's see, I have that one around here somewhere. Right here. Look at this beauty. That's Tony Horton from the old days. This is okay, it's 2004. So the reason why I like doing this one is it's Power 90-ish. He also filmed this in Hawaii. Probably that same week he did the fat burning system one. But I did this one 8 times, including I did it one time in week 10. But I did it I did it 8 times. It's, what is it? It's like, it's branded as a yoga, but it's not quite a yoga. It's like part warm up, part get loose, part punching and kicking. And then there's like 12 minutes of yoga at the end. Maybe like 10 minutes. It's pretty difficult. It's about 25, 27 minutes long, somewhere in there. I stopped doing it because In this round, I wanted something that was more yoga intense, more like a yoga, more like a traditional yoga, where instead of just doing like the warm ups and the kicking and punching and the 8 or 10 or whatever, however many minutes of yogas there are at the end, I wanted something that's more traditional yoga. But I do like this, and I'll pull it out from time to time when I don't feel like doing a yoga or I feel like substituting. This is good for that. Power half hour stretch. I like to do this on Sundays. It's not exactly Power 90-ish, but it's close. I did this 5 times in weeks. I did it once in week 2, in week 4, in week 6, in week 7, and week 9. It's a stretch DVD. It's exactly 30 minutes. And it's a total body stretch. So you stretch the hamstrings, the quads, the butt, the abs, the back. You go through and you do a full total body stretch. What I like about it is a total body. What I don't like about it is it's not comprehensive. So you don't all the way get stretched through. As for instance, you do a quad stretch, but you do it real fast for like 15 seconds or 20 seconds. You don't get all the way through it. So you're like partially stretching it, and sometimes that can be really uncomfortable if you don't stretch and get all the way through the stretch. So I do prefer a longer stretch video. But for this program, I like to do power half hour stretch. And I would recommend it if you wanted to do a stretch and a pinch. I think it works well. Now, I mentioned I like to do a more traditional yoga, and I like to do twice a week, sort of like P90X style or X2. I like to do a yoga in the middle of the week on Thursdays, and then I like to do a stretch on Sundays. And sometimes when I'm craving for a more traditional yoga, I'll pull out this one. This is called Patience Hummingbird, and it is in the P90X Volume 2 one-on-one series. It's one-on-one Volume 2, and it's Disc 3. And I really like this. It's a real slow-paced yoga where you're doing a traditional power yoga, like a lot of vinyasas, and then some stretching at the end. And this is real fast. It's like 35 minutes. So it's a quick workout, but you're really taking your time and you're holding the poses for a long time. In some cases, 30 seconds or longer. And that's challenging because when you hold the pose like a crescent pose or a warrior one for 30 seconds or longer, you're really testing the endurance of your muscles, but you're also stretching them out quite a bit. So for that reason, I like Patient Hummingbird, and I did it twice, and I think in the last couple of weeks I would pull it out and started doing it. Okay. What I don't like about it is it's not comprehensive. So like Yoga X in P90X is the most comprehensive one. It's like a 90-minute yoga, and that's my favorite one. What else do I got? One-on-one on one leg. I did this starting in week 6. I did it in week 7, week 6, 7, and 9, a total of 3 times. This is it's a shoulders, arms workout, and you do it on one leg. So you see the picture of Tony, how he's like stepping on one leg and he's doing military press. This is from P90X one-on-one. I think this is volume 2. I like this one a lot. I actually like this better than the P90X2 shoulders and arms. But I started doing this because, like I said, the fat burning system started to hurt my back and my hips, and I wanted to do a good workout, but I wanted it to be more upper body focused. So I started switching to this, and I did it, like I said, twice. I like it a lot. There's nothing to not like about it, so it's highly recommendable by me. Cold starts. I did 39 cold starts. A cold start to me is like it's a warm up, and P90X3 has a cold start. I was doing that one. It's 12 minutes. I like it. And 22-minute hardcore has a cold start that is 9 minutes long, and I like that one a lot. So I started doing cold starts most days. So 39 times out of if I did 10 weeks, that's 70 days. I did 39 cold starts. So just about every other day or more often than that, I was doing a cold start. I created some of my own cold starts. So I did the P90X2 total body warm-up. I've recorded that and I will just do myself. I'll do the recording along with myself, and I consider that a cold start. And I also did one for P90X chest and back, so that's one I consider a cold start. I've recorded myself doing the warm up, and I'll just warm up along with it, and I like that one. That one's 9 minutes also. And then lastly, there's a 10-minute trainer, Yoga Flex. I mostly did that before a while like a Kino or stretch, but not always. Sometimes I did a different cold start, and sometimes I did no cold start or warm up before the yogas. But I just like to get loose either at the beginning or at the end of the yoga. And so 10-minute trainer, Yoga Flex, that's a really good option. And I have, let's see, where did I put that disc? I guess I didn't pull that one out, but I did it quite a bit. And so, yeah, 39 cold starts. The older I get, the more reliant I am on cold starts and warm-ups, so I keep doing them. Okay, we're just about done here. In the last couple of weeks, just to get through the recovery weeks, I pulled in some other workouts. I did P90X3 Pilates. That's it's on this disc right here. I did that once, and then I did a workout called Results for Recovery, which is another P90X one-on-one. I'm sorry, it's called Recovery for Results. This is Volume 1, Disc 2. I did those one time each in week 10. And also, there's a silly workout. It's like a 10-minute trainer, but it's called Holiday Horton. And this is a P90X one-on-one too. I did that one once. I did it on June 28th on week 10. I like to do Holiday Horton in December because it's all like Christmassy and he's all dressed. Like, look at how he's dressed in this. It is kind of a festive workout, but it's a 10-minute trainer, like a total body. And I did that once during the recovery week just to do something different. I wanted to do a hard workout, but I wanted to do a fast, like a short 10-minute workout. So I pulled that one out. And that's it. Those are all the, I'm just looking around here. Oh, I have one night I wanted to work on my arms. So I did Friday night arms. This is from P90X one-on-one 10-minute trainer. Okay, so this is a different series, and these are all 10-minute workouts, but there's a Friday night arms. You're just basically doing curls, you're doing triceps, and then you're doing wrist curls. And so I did that once. But yeah, good. So I like having variety, and I like being able to mix it up, and I would not like to do just P90s over and over and over again. So I like to keep my options open and to be flexible. And just to summarize, I wanted to do this review in like week 9 or 10 of the program last month, like in June, when it was still fresh on my mind. But it still is fresh on my mind. I mean, I could go downstairs right now and do a Sculpt C or a Sweat C or even a Horton's Greatest Hits. Now I'm suffering from an injury right now, so I won't do that. But right now I'm doing P90X3, and that's already changed. I can tell it's changing me until I got injured, at least. I have to take a couple of weeks off because I tore a calf muscle playing tennis. But I can already tell like P90 does something different to my body than P90X3. And it's just a different focus. It's very similar, but it's different. And I'll cover that when we get to. I'll do a P90X3 review, probably at the end of probably in August or September. Okay. Anyway, P90, it's a great starter program. If you wanted to just do it as recommended by the calendar, or if you wanted to mix and match the way I do and just kind of modify and improvise and pull in different stuff, it's a great way to do it too. Like I said, I need my yoga and I need my stretching. So we'll leave it there. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Coach Plyle Guy out.